Sheila Hamp has spoken to the media today.
She's just doing damage control.
Sounds like Dan the Man Campbell's keeping his job.
I don't like saying he's safe already after how this season has already transpired.
It's the truth, and the truth hurts. I don't think this thing flips around or we see it on an upward trajectory until possibly 2024. Comparing it to other rebuilds, it's lazy. Sheila Hamp has spoken to the media today. She had some things to say. A lot of things that I preached yesterday. Sus, run the clip.
It's the video, Sheila.
It was like a teardown and then a rebuild. I mean, we really had to take it down to the ground level. And it's been not only on the football side, but across the organization. We've put in a lot of new talent at the top. I really believe in the top leadership in this organization, and I think we've got the people to do it, to carry this out. I think that's what's different.
One more. Why are you?
Sounds like Dan the Man Campbell's keeping his job.
Sounds like
for
it.
the remainder of the year.
It does.
You look disappointed.
I don't want to. She's just doing damage control.
Yeah.
What else are you going to say when you're the owner of the team? You're not going to go out there and say, I hate these guys. Get them out of here. It's you got to preach confidence. You got to preach what you believe.
Yeah.
It is a rebuild. It is. She even called it. It was a tear down, then a rebuild.
Yes.
They had to clear everything out, and then they could start the rebuild. So the Detroit Lions are obviously they're going through a lot right now. I don't like her putting that label out there that it doesn't matter what happens. Dan Campbell's great. I love Dan Campbell. If he has a momentous failure, monumental. I don't know what I was trying to say.
You're fine.
If he has a monumental failure. Yeah, I just make stuff up sometimes. It sounds good. If he has a monumental failure, this is not something that the Detroit Lions can come back from. This is not something the Detroit Lions can keep preaching. If he doesn't win another game for the rest of the season, I don't know how you look your players in the eyes and say, it's all right. It's all right. That'll be fine. He did his best. He went out there and he riled you guys up. You remember when he shook off those pants full of dust? I don't like saying he's safe already after how this season has already transpired. I feel like he needs to go out there and prove something to the Detroit Lions to keep his job, rather than just saying, it's okay. I believe in what we've got and what we're going to be. It just takes time. That is what Sheila Hamp said. It's tough for me. It's tough for you to preach that to Lions fans who have already been waiting so long, who have already put so much time and effort into this team. Man, it scares me a little bit. It feels like she's just going to stick with her guy no matter what.
I don't view it as that. I view it as everything that I painted for you yesterday. Like, this entire situation for the Detroit Lions is going to take time. It's the truth, and the truth hurts. You know what I'm saying? Like, to have expected this to turn around like any sooner was kind of like wacky on our part. I mean, you and yourself, you had the Lions being like mid this year.
Yes.
Has it looked worse than mid? Yeah.
Yes.
Have they also like suffered like quite a few injuries with that?
Yes.
One being like the leader of their defense. Like, yeah. I mean, the same conversation she wanted to say that the Detroit Lions are one of the youngest teams in the league. That's not an excuse. That's a fact. She been like she must be watching the heavyweights. It sounds like something I've been saying all year, because it is fact. And I think it actually was our guy Adam. You were reading out his tweet out loud in the back, and he had mentioned like the rest of the teams, the youngest teams in the league, the top 10 youngest teams. Detroit Lions have the second youngest, and if I guarantee you, if you look at their defense in comparison to the rest of the league, they probably have the youngest. The oldest guy is Alex Anzalone in terms of starters. He's 28, 27 years old. Michael Brocker's 31. He was benched. All right, he was a healthy scratch last week. It's gonna take time. It was a tear down situation. All these guys in there starting for us are either like undrafted free agents and or rookies, career backups. Alex Anzalone, the oldest guy. You said the guy is supposed to be the leader at this point. Now that Tracy Walker's gone, career backup. Mm-hmm. It's gonna take time.
It's gonna take time.
The rebuild. Oh, by the way, her having that conversation about talking about a rebuild while "Let the Beat Build" plays in the background by Wayne from the Carter 3.
Classic.
Oh, all time. That was awesome. I'm listening to Carter 3 for the rest of the day. But guys, it is what it is. It's not You don't have a choice in it. It's going to take time. And I said this yesterday. I feel like I'm repeating myself. Like, it doesn't matter who was in there in this situation. It sucks. It's a bad situation. She said they're having a teardown. They're still in the process of the teardown. Because if you don't believe that in yourself, you also then believe Jared Goff's the future of this franchise.
That's fair.
You also believe he's going to be here long term. Do you think that's the case? No.
That's my guy. I'm all aboard the Jared Goff train.
That's when I start my freak out. That's when I start my call outs of the organization, the regime, is if they truly believe in this guy, Jared Goff, in which we've heard in multiple interviews with Brad Holmes at this point, some of Rich Eisen and elsewhere. No, he's here. He's our guy for now. I'm saying if there was a guy we believed in, Brad Holmes via himself, he said these words verbatim. If there was a guy we believed in, we would have taken him.
He did.
In terms of quarterback position. That lets me know he's not their guy. This situation is going to be addressed next year. And if I got to be real with you guys, a lot of you guys are going to hate to hear this. It's the truth, and to say the truth hurts. And there's another quote too.
You can't handle the truth.
I don't think this thing flips around or we see it on an upward trajectory until possibly 2024.
I don't hate it.
But it's just, and I want to set the expectation now because one, you say we build, we continue to build a roster throughout free agency and whatever else in the draft next year too. But if it's Goff, you're still looking at a mid-season. If it's a rookie quarterback, you're still looking at a mid-tier season and that too.
I'd pray for mid right now. Give me a mid-season.
I used to pray for times like this.
To rhyme like this. Lions can't shine like that. Like this. The Lions want to be mid right now, and they're not. They're awful. They're the worst team in the NFL right now. And like you said, the teardown is still in process. You're still paying Jamie Collins. You're still paying Trey Flowers. You're still paying Jelani Tavai. You're still paying Tyrell Williams, Tim Boyle, and David Blau. And you've got a $30 million quarterback.
Yeah.
That is not constitute a rebuild. That is not the proper stepping stones to start a rebuild. They need to bomb it. They need to destroy everything, get it all out of there, and then build from the ground up. So that includes getting those dead cap numbers off of their back, getting Jared Goff's contract out of here. Get him out of here. I'm sorry. He's gone. He should not be on this team next year. You cut him, you save the money, and you eat that dead cap hit of $10 million. Because it's just what you got to do. And you draft a quarterback, and you hope that quarterback can play well enough to win you a couple games next year, because it looks like the Lions are going to be bad, like you said, for a few more seasons.
And that's how you let the beat build. No, 100%, man. It is what it is, guys. I'm not this isn't a defense of Dan Campbell. This is the situation they were given. It's going to take time. I had some numbers here too. Obviously, the Jared Goff situation, still in the process of that tear down. It's just not even comparing it to other rebuilds. It's lazy.
It is.
It truly is lazy. It's not the same at all whatsoever. And I understand, too, the patience situation. I've been patient for 32 years. I've been patient for 20 years. I've been patient for 52 years. Okay, that doesn't change the situation.
Should be proud of that.
Yeah, that doesn't, this is a new regime. They're in year 2. They're not even fully done with year 2 of the situation. Bro,
it's Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes' fault. I've been a Lions fan for 60 years.
Yeah.
Get over yourselves. How many times do we got to teach you this lesson, old man? It's a different regime. They're dealing with different problems. They need to clean the books of what those idiots Quinn Trisha did in their last regime. They need to get all of that out of there before they can bring in their own talent and start to develop their own thing. You see it started. You see it with Penei Sewell. You see it with Aiden Hutchinson. You see it with guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Malcolm Rodriguez. But the Detroit Lions have been playing catch-up since Matt Patricia walked in the door. And now that he's gone, you have to clear all the skeletons out of the closet so you can build something. If Matt Patricia never happened, you might still have Darius Slay. You might still have Quandre Diggs. You might still have legitimate pieces on this defense rather than backups and rookies. It doesn't work like that in the NFL. Look at the Giants defense. Look at the Jets defense. Look at the Seahawks defense. They have pieces on there that were legitimate players and legitimate Pro Bowlers in the National Football League. The Detroit Lions don't have that. I'm sorry, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't have that level of talent, and you need to build that from the ground up while getting over the money paid to guys that should have been that. Guys that should have been here like Jamie Collins and Trey Flowers should have been building pieces on that defense, but guess what? They sucked because Matt Patricia pulled them off the Patriots organization, tried to stick them right in there and said, oh, they'll do fine.
Yeah.
And we're still feeling the pain of those contracts to this day. To this day. To this day.
100%. Couple comments in the Woodward Sports chat. I saw Andrew Bordeaux says they are really excusing this mess. Good grief, some of you. Is it an excuse or is it the truth? Like, it's not an excuse. It's the reality of the situation. If you in your head, again, are comparing the Detroit Lions to the Jets, the Giants, it's lazy. It's beyond lazy. They're different scenarios. I asked this question yesterday, and I posed the same question today. Name me a rebuild that featured a $30 million quarterback. And I get it. Like, the prices change. I can't think of the word that I want to think of right now. Inflation. All right? If you want to take that $30 million, well, they weren't signed there. 14%. Look for the 14%. All right? I'm all worked up, Spinny. Where can I blow off some steam?
Planet Fitness, of course.